No, you need food, right? So that's why like I'm stressing this point that the foods we eat matters. And fasting is not always the answer. Obviously, go fast for religious reasons and do that, right? Like every couple of months, if you want to like do a couple of days, sure, great. Fasting has benefits. But if you're always looking at fasting as a weight loss cure, I'm telling you it's a bad cure because eventually you're just gonna burn out and the body will want food and you're gonna end up binge eating and emotional eating and stress eating because eventually you won't be able to sustain it. Hi, my name is Mo Gayas. Essentially, I'm a kid who's obsessed with winning and sharing the lessons with you because growing up, I wish I had someone like me to help me out. On the Healthy Systems podcast, you will learn one main idea, system from each episode that you can use in your life, whether that is financial, relationships, fitness, and wellness. So if you're a millennial, you're hyper ambitious, this podcast is for you because the more systematic your life is, the more you can win and not waste time. So join me on your journey to building a life of healthy systems for yourself. Hello. Welcome to Healthy Systems Podcast. The new year of 2025 is right around the corner, or maybe the time you're actually listening to this it is already 2025. So happy New Year's. Today, topic is the 2025 diet blueprint and the things they don't want you to know. Okay. Actually, the title I'm going to make it is 2025 Diet Blueprint, and they don't want you to know this because the reason I say this is because yesterday we have I was talking to my clients and we have a lot of clients and they're all very educated people. And even they didn't know these facts about nutrition and diet and how important these are. So over the next couple of minutes, just listen along because I just want you to get a whole new understanding of nutrition and how to actually view it because perspective matters. So if you always look at diet as a way to just lose the weight and whatever, I'm going to starve myself, lose a couple pounds. If you always look at it from that perspective, it gets boring, it gets uninteresting, it just gets, very mundane. And a lot of us don't like that. So I'm going to give you a new perspective today. And it comes from a biology world and biochemistry world. And I'll explain it in a way that I know will stick with you. And if that's all you take with you to 2025, I think you'll be very, very grateful. Okay. So here's the premise. What if I told you that the foods you eat in 2025 could completely rebuild your body, right? Or ruin it? And most people have no idea how much control they actually have over the food and the body that they're currently dealing with. So today, let's dive into some secrets behind how our body regenerates itself. Okay. Why your diet is the key to shaping your future and what they don't want you to know about this. Because I was an undergraduate as a biochemistry major for the first 2 years and even have a minor in biology and chemistry. And a lot of trainers and a lot of the fitness influencers never talk about this fact. They just kind of tell you like, hey, do this and do this. And nobody really nobody connects biology with weight loss or fitness. And that's why there's a big disconnect and you don't understand why you're even doing this. And it just feels like, hey, I eat this way to get my scale, the weight on the scale to go down. And that's the only reason I eat this way. And it's like, that is like you're missing the forest for the trees if you're thinking that. So hopefully this episode kind of expands your horizons. And if that's all I do, I would have succeeded. And all the student loans I had to take to get an undergraduate education would be so worth it. Okay. So here's the thing. Write this down. Your body is not fixed. One thing. It's not a constant thing that just stays the same. Our body is constantly renewing itself. It's constantly regenerating itself. So what you eat today becomes your cells, your muscles, your tissues, your bones tomorrow. Okay. So let me give you some examples. What do I mean by that? Well, there are different types of cells in our body, right? So if we look at our skin cells renew every 27 to 28 days. So our body goes through this process and regeneration, and it regenerates and replaces the old cells with the new cells. So the skin cells, every 27 to 28 days, they become new. Okay. They become renewed. Now, red blood cells in our body, very essential, as you know, they get replaced every 4 months. So skin cells every 27 to 28 days. Let's just do easy math. Skin cells get replaced every month. Red blood cells every 4 months. And then we have liver cells, okay? This becomes a problem if you drink. So hopefully those of you listening don't drink very much or don't drink at all. But liver cells, they regenerate every 6 months. So remember, skin cells every month, red blood cells every 4 months, liver cells every 6 months. And then you have your bones. Oh my God, so important. Our bones they get fully replaced. That means every single cell in our bones gets replaced and renewed and regenerated every 7 to 10 years. Okay. So that's what I mean. The food that you are eating today is very important. Here's why. All those cells that are getting replaced every couple of weeks, every couple of months, every couple of years, how do you think, like, what is the raw ingredient? What is the raw material that builds those cells? Well, it's the food we eat. Okay. And the food we eat matters a lot. So the food you ate 7 years ago built the bones you have today. So if you were eating junk food back then, well, guess what? The bones you have are probably not as good. They're pretty junk food related bones. Same thing with your skin cells. So if you're always having skin issues, well, chances are we can definitely look at your diet and predict, because every month your skin cells get renewed, right? New cells come in. So you see my point here? At the end of the day, the food we eat matters so much because you're literally creating your own body. Every couple of weeks, our body goes through this process, and you can verify this. You can look this up. Okay. Every skin cells get regenerated every 27, 28 days. So I know a lot of you care a lot about your skin, especially my female audience. And a lot of, a lot of the time, like I have sisters and I've been in a relationship before. And a lot of the time we spend so much money out of Sephora and Ulta and all these makeup stores, but we don't spend as much money or interest or income or time when it comes to our health or food that we eat. We kind of eat junk food, right? Like no amount of Sephora can save you if your skin cells aren't there, right? Or even facials. So at the end of the day, this stuff matters because the foods you eat today, they build the cells we have tomorrow. Okay. So the foods we're eating today, eat healthier, eat good, nutritious food. And I can do a whole new episode on like what exactly to eat, because even in the healthy food world, different foods have different benefits. Okay. And then how do you eat enough of everything so you get the best of everything without eating so many calories that you end up being overweight? So these are all checks and balances. And that's why like people hire fitness coaches, because this stuff is more complicated than it looks. Okay. But at the end of the day, it all starts with having this mindset and these perspectives in your head that serve you. So today I'm giving you this perspective that, hey, we don't just eat healthy to lose weight. We eat healthy because our body is a direct result of the food we eat. So if we're eating junk food, the cells in our body are junk. The tissues in our body are junk. The organs, the organ systems that everything is made up of is just junk. But if we're eating healthy, if you ate healthy and you've been eating healthy for years and years now, well, guess what? Your bones and your body and your muscles and your organs and your heart and your lungs and your brain, they're all regenerated, and it's all good stuff, and it's made up of good nutrition, right? So the nutrition we eat, it matters so much more than anything out there. You know what I mean? One of the episodes I was thinking about doing next week is how the food we eat affects our mental health. There's been books written on it and the different perspective from all these psychologists, but we don't talk about that at all. And that's why, like, I'm making the title of this episode what they don't want you to know, because it annoys me that we're so easily, the government is making it so people can get Wegovy and Ozempic and all these crazy drugs, and big pharma, they're making it so easy, and they're almost like, yeah, we'll give it to the population and the population will naturally lose weight. And it's like, bro, like, what about the kidney failure and all the side effects of Ozempic and all these other drugs, right? Like, I'm not naming any big names here, so don't come for me, don't sue me. But I think overall, the big thing being is the food we eat gets neglected the most, and nobody educates us, right? Like, I took years of biology and years of biochemistry, and we never talked about this stuff. Like, this is stuff I learned on my own years later, being in the trenches with my clients, right? So at the end of the day, remember, foods we eat affect every other area. And it's sad that we have become a culture and a country, even I think the entire Western and the Eastern world, where we rely more on medications than we do on food. So we get anxiety and depression. We don't look at the causes of it. We just prescribe a pill for it. When somebody gets fat, we don't look at the causes of it. We just, yeah, here's some Ozempic or Wegovy or Mounjaro or whatever, right? Here's this pill, and it's so sad, right? And it's not even like individuals' fault. People are like, yeah, doctors are to blame. No, I coach a lot of doctors. They come to us for coaching, and though it's not an individual problem. It's not like one person's fault. Our entire system has become very reliant. And part of it is our people to blame. You know what I mean? Like we are responsible for this in a sense where we do like fast, instant gratification. We think Ozempic will be the solution to our problem, but in reality, every shortcut you take makes it longer to get to your destination. I promise you that in this fitness, health, and wellness world, it is very true. So at the end of the day, why most diets fail? Well, like most diets are temporary fixes. A lot of the time people don't give you these perspectives, and when we coach clients, we spend hours and hours on coaching calls trying to educate the client and really make it click for them, and then these people just end up staying healthy for the rest of their life because we're not your temporary fixes. We don't focus on that, right? Like weight loss is an end result of healthy eating, proper training, proper nutrition, proper sleep, hydration, stress management, time management, all of those things. It's not just like, hey, eat this fucking soup every 2 days and at like 9 a.m. and like you lose weight and don't eat any carb after 6 p.m. and all those little stupid little rules that don't get people anywhere, right? So at the end of the day, that's why this stuff is so important. The foods we eat directly create the body we have today, right? It literally, your skin, your red blood cells, your liver cells, your brain cells, if you look at basic biology, cells are the basic unit of living. Is the most basic unit of living, and it's a living thing, right? So you have cells, and those cells create tissues, and those tissues create organs, and those organs create organ systems, and then those organ systems create you, the organism, right? So at the end of the day, that's some basic biology for you. And my biology teachers should be so proud. That's some AP biology from 12 years ago. And, but at the end of the day, here's what I want you to know. Processed foods, crash diets leave you with weak cells, low energy, bad mental health, and very, very slow metabolism, right? But those are, you guys already knew that. You guys already know that processed food is not good, but like you probably didn't click for you that, hey, the food I eat builds the body I have. These cells in my body and this living being inside of me, there's a whole internal biochemistry that happens inside. And I was telling my clients this yesterday, guys, there's billions of cells in our body, billions of cells. And there's like even more bacteria cells in our stomach. They say there's more bacteria cells in human stomach and our lining than there is stars in the universe. Isn't that beautiful? It's gnarly. There's a living being. There's a whole lot of stuff happening inside. There's a funny meme I saw which said, if you ever feel depressed, look at all the cells working so hard to keep you alive, right? And there's such an amazing machinery of biochemistry that happens inside of us, and it's always happening, and they don't take breaks, and it's always working, right? And a lot of the time, we get taught biology by teachers that don't really understand biology, and we get taught, we just don't appreciate our body. And then we work with fitness trainers that failed high school biology to begin with. So it's like, Coach Mo is rare. I know. I'm just teaching you guys this to like connect all of this, because I find when you connect your knowledge and from biology perspective, from psychology perspective, from practical world perspective and fitness perspective, building an amazing body and amazing health, and you can really look after your loved ones. So that's the big thing, right? So trying to wrap it all up because I know there's a lot in there. So I want you to focus on just the overall big picture. Okay. The food you eat today matters a lot more than just weight loss. We don't just eat good food for weight loss. Obviously, it's a byproduct of it. But at the end of the day, I want you to just think one habit at a time, right? So like look at your body now, be like, okay, how often do I eat junk food? Is it every day? Is it like, during break, there's a McDonald's next to my work and I just go there? Is that what you do? Because that's the body you're creating right now. And so often when I talk to people, healthy people constantly aim to get healthier, and unhealthy people have kind of forgotten about health. It's fascinating to me how that is, right? Like we have clients that are super healthy to begin with, and they still like pay us every month, and they want us to take care of them, and they're just drive to continuously improve. And then there's the other side where people aren't even aware that they're 230 pounds and they're super overweight for their 5'4" body, and they don't even like it has become socially acceptable for them. It doesn't even bother them. And it just rattles me. I'm like, hey man, like that's in your control. We can change this. Right. So I want you to know that it is in our control. And it all starts with one little habit at a time. So obviously, like the best habit is you work with a professional. Work with a professional that actually cares about you and they can get you results. But I think before you even get to that point, some of you need these perspectives in your brain before you can even get to the point where you're actually ready for a coach. So a lot of the time, just know that the foods you eat matters, and it matters a lot more than you think it does. And that's also, there's a deeper point in this where, you know how I'm talking about the nutrition we eat builds the cells and the organs and all of that. Some of you, whenever you want to lose weight, you do like stupid little water fasts. And it makes no sense to me because obviously, as Muslims, we fast during the month of Ramadan, but we eat at night and we eat in the morning. We only do a day fast, right? We only fast for like 12 to 14 or 15, 16 hours, depending on the time zones. But I would say fasting is good. But at the end of the day, you're not going to create a healthy body by just fasting your way through life. It just won't, it's not, you need nutrition. You need you need energy. You need that, you need the raw ingredients, right? If you're building a building, you're gonna need bricks. You can't just be like, yeah, build a building with some imagination and I'm gonna be good. No, you need food, right? So that's why like I'm stressing this point that the foods we eat matters. And fasting is not always the answer. Obviously, go fast for religious reasons and do that, right? Like every couple months, if you want to like do a couple days, sure, great. Fasting has benefits. But if you're always looking at fasting as a weight loss cure, I'm telling you it's a bad cure because eventually you're just going to burn out and the body will want food and you're going to end up binge eating and emotional eating and stress eating because eventually you won't be able to sustain it. So at the end of the day, it's better to have the mental models right when it comes to nutrition. And yeah, man, yeah, your skin cells get replaced every 3 to 4 weeks and your liver cells every couple of months, red blood cells every couple of months, your bones every 7 to 8 years, right? So at the end of the day, these cells in your body, they need food. They need the nutrition. So if you can provide a good nutrition, that's why we eat healthy. So at the end of the day, that's what we do. And if you want us to coach you, if you are at a point where you're like, man, Mo, I believe in that 100%. And I would like to hire a nutrition and fitness coach, a personal trainer online. Well, that's what we do at Training with the Titans. You can just go to our website, twtt.us. So it's just Training with the Titans, just short for that, twtt.us. And then you can fill out an application and then I'll be the one or one of our team members will get back to you and then we'll talk on Zoom. And so we can hear more about your specific situation, like what's going on, what's working, what's not working. And then we can build a plan specifically for you. And then we can keep you accountable until you hit the victory milestone and end up achieving your goal. But at the end of the day, this is important. And I needed to get this off my chest because I shared that with my client yesterday, all my clients yesterday. And a lot of my clients are, super educated people. And they were all like, they didn't even know it. Some of them were doctors and pharmacists and they've never heard that side of biology before. But the cells in our body are constantly getting renewed and regenerated. And where do you think the material comes from to build the new cells? From the food we eat. So the food you eat matters a lot. Let's go into 2025 with better eating habits, better eating options. And at the end of the day, in all honesty, I also think most people don't know what eating healthy means because the internet has confused them so much, right? I often joke with people that want to become clients. They're like, yeah, I already know what to eat. I already know how to eat healthy. I'm like, what would you eat? And they almost always say salads. And I'm like, how many days can you eat salads? 2 days, 3 days, one day? What happens on Johnny's birthday? What happens on your niece's, bachelorette party? What happens, when there's a work event? Are you just gonna eat salads when there's no salads? Like, well, how do you like? Most people don't know how to eat healthy because eating healthy has been so confusing because of all the information obesity that's out there. So at the end of the day, and there's a reason I still have a coach because I think coaching is by far the best thing you can do because then you'll have somebody holding your hand through it all, an expert who's 10 years ahead of you, and they will just get you to the finish line. Otherwise, trying to do it on your own is too hard. But at the end of the day, hopefully this episode was a good reminder. If all it did for you that was to remind you to go into 2025 with a better, healthier perspective on food, then I would have done my job. So yeah, stay in touch. And if you like this episode, message me on Instagram at Mo Gaius or on Facebook at Mo Gaius, Ghias, and Mo is just MOE. So you can just find me on the socials, message me there, tell me you're listening to Healthy Systems. It would mean the world to me. We don't have any sponsors for this. We just do it, Training with the Titans funds it. And at the end of the day, this is a really, really great way for me to share the things we're learning as fitness coaches in our clientele and share the messages with you because, let's say in 10 years from now, when I am not fitness coaching anymore, or life has, gone on to other things, I can look back on Healthy Systems and be like, man, we had these episodes and we shared our knowledge with the world. So hope this helps because this knowledge is not just, trendy right now. this will be applicable 20 years from now too. So human biology does not change. So at the end of the day, take this knowledge, take these perspectives, and then please let me know if you find them useful and then what other content you would like to see. And I would love to create more of that. And until next time, I'll see you guys around. Take care. Thank you for listening to the Healthy Systems podcast. I really appreciate you for tuning in today. Now, here are 2 ways I can help you for free. One, you can join our free Facebook community by just going to this link, bit.ly/Titan Facebook group. Just type that into your browser and then answer 2 questions, and then we'll let you into our Facebook community where you'll meet other people, as well as we have a lot of free resources in terms of meal plans, workouts, all kinds of stuff in there. Second way I can help you for free is if you follow me on Instagram at MoeGaius, MoE, G as in George, H as in horse, I as in India, A as in apple, S as in Sam. Follow me there and then shoot me a message with the word Healthy Systems, and then I'll be sure to send you a free gift. Other than that, keep listening in, and I really appreciate you.